Well, luckily that's not gonna happen. Anyways.
Paul, this video is giving me clinical depression, not dementia.
You're gonna give yourself that.
Yeah. You can buy it on vinyl? Oh my god, I need it.
You can buy what?
You can buy it on vinyl. Each stage.
Oh.
I have a record player. I need to get all 6 discs. You know how funny it
You're
would be to
gonna
put on disc 6 and say, oh, I love this one to an audience?
Oh yeah, for context, by the way, everywhere at the end of time.
Be so funny.
True. You're gonna accelerate your descent into madness.
Correct. You know, Neil made a mock-up of this in some other program. I forgot what it was.
Of the robot?
Of the entire field and the robot.
Oh dang.
His robot wasn't as detailed as yours. It was like a 2D layout of everything. But it's for coding. It maps out how the autonomous section works.
Oh, I imagine he used that for like odometry or whatever.
When we do the final video, you should ask for it, and then we can put it all together.
I don't know how we would put that all together.
You can ask him for a recording of it, right?
Maybe, but at that point I'll just like at that point it'll just be like two separate videos because like
True.
that wouldn't really be the same thing.
That is very true, Paul. I'm so close to stage 2, man. I'm so close.
You're not gonna be saying that for like stage 6.
You have such little faith in me. When have you ever known me to not joke about things like this?
Uh, that's a good question, actually. Have you ever even listened to anything like that?
Absolutely not, but I make jokes about things like this all the time.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a new thing.
Sarcasm heals the soul, Paul.
Me, when, what's it called? Satire. The importance of being earnest.
What a terrible book.
It was a mid book.
It was awful.
Okay. Hey, the movie was better than the book.
I agree on that one. You know why?
Because the movie was funnier.
Because the book was awful.
Did you even watch the movie?
Yeah, I have. I have watched the movie.
Yeah, no, the movie was actually really funny.
I loved the movie. I hated the book.
Yeah, no, it was a mid book. Although it was really short, so like,
That's why it was so bad.
you like long books better? Did you love Jane Eyre?
No, Jane Eyre was a terrible book. God, that was awful. What a horrible book. I cannot hate any book more. There are so few books I hate more than that book. Unironically, I think that is the worst book we've ever read in English.
Dang. I must be like the only person in the school that thinks it wasn't that bad.
She spent so long explaining what everything looked like. I wanted to cry. It was terrible.
I was just reading the audiobook and spacing out half the time, so I was chilling.
Nah, she spent it was like 2 or 3 pages describing Lowood. I wanted to cry. I understood it looked pretty and it was terrible. I got it. I really did.
Womp
Swear to
womp.
God, terrible book.
Womp
Not to
womp.
mention the story also sucked. I actually hated it.
The story wasn't that bad. What do you mean?
It was terrible.
Well, you have a weird taste in stories, so
Nah, Paul, what was the purpose of that story? You tell me.
I don't know. I'm not in the mood to write a lit essay right now.
No, you gotta be. You're defending it.
Uh, I'll defend it when I write on the AP.
Nah, it's a terrible, terrible story. It's,
Actually,
oh, Jane don't
I'll
need no man, and then the end of the book, she goes right back to Rochester.
no, I was like, the teacher felt so biased against Mr. Rochester. Like, all he ever did was have a bad wife.
Okay, well, hey, Paul, I need to say this for your sake and for mine and the recording. You don't lock your wife in the attic, Paul.
Do you call that a wife?
Yes.
I don't. That thing was literally a creature.
Uh, hey, Paul. Okay, mentally unstable people are not animals, Paul.
That wasn't mental instability. She was like clinically insane, like beyond the point of saving. Like, what are you
Um,
gonna do about that? Other than,
um,
he even spared her the visit to the like asylums because the asylums were so bad.
yeah, but, yeah. I don't know,
Yeah,
Paul. I think there was probably a better way to handle that situation if I were him.
what better way?
I don't know, maybe not locking her in the attic.
What else was he supposed to do? She was literally like killing people.
She did not kill anybody.
She would have. Like,
No,
literally, she
she
attacks
escapes
Mr.
several times in the novel. What do you mean?
Yeah, and she almost kills Mr. Rochester and Jane Eyre.
No, no, no. When she escaped the first time in the novel, she just walks into Jane's room in like the middle of the night and just stares her down and rips the veil in half and then walks
That's
back to her
not what
room.
happens. Did you even pay attention? You were like spacing out half the time, weren't you?
What do you mean? What do you mean that's not what happens?
Literally, the first time she escapes, she sets Mr. Rochester's bed on fire, and Jane Eyre
Oh,
has to save him.
it wasn't the bed, it was the curtains.
That the curtains to the bed. That's literally the
Yeah, but
same thing.
wasn't the bed though, Paul. It was the curtains to the bed.
That's literally the same thing.
No, no.
Did I mess something up here?
Maybe it was an accident.
That's not how it works, Duncan.
Are you saying people can't set fires accidentally?
When you're insane beyond the point of saving, I don't think that's how it works.
I beg to differ.
Okay, you should try going insane and see what happens. How do you
I
even
hit stage two.
accidentally set a bed on fire?
I hit stage two. Sorry. I don't know. Drop a
Exactly.
drop a lighter.
How would she accidentally drop a lighter?
I don't know. I'm not
Exactly.
her.
I think your
Bertha
point
did
is
what Bertha
invalid.
gonna do. I don't know. Rochester was just not a great person, Paul.
Well, I still think he got too much hate. Just
I
saying.
think I think not telling your future wife that you have your ex-wife who's clinically insane locked in the attic is kind of a small
Because
detail
she's
to
clinically
leave out.
insane. What are you supposed to do?
At
It's
least
not
tell
his
your
fault.
significant other about it.
Okay, but it's not his fault that she's clinically insane, and if he told Jane Eyre, then that would like be a problem.
Am I blaming Rochester for Bertha's insanity? No.
It sounded like it.
I'm not blaming him for her insanity. I'm saying Rochester may have handled the situation better.
Maybe. But still, he gets too much hate.
I think there's a decent amount of hate to be deserved there.
Well, yeah, but like the teacher was just absolutely like going insane on him, merciless.
Maybe in your class. In our class, it was tame.
I don't know. I still think he got way too much hate. The only really bad thing he did was keep secrets, but at the same time, it's like kind of understandable.
Paul, I really don't think you're understanding the gravity of the situation.
What?
If you were gonna marry a woman, right, Paul, and you went to bed one night and you woke up to a stranger in your room who ripped one of your outfits in half, would you stand there and go, "Yeah, that's normal," and then go back to bed, or would you go, "Hey, sweetie, maybe there's some creepy man living in the house"?
No, Mr. Rochester said that he was gonna tell Jane Eyre about everything, like right after, well, not right after, he said like exactly a year after they got married.
Yeah, after they were legally bound in a situation where she couldn't escape from.
Well, it's not like Jane Eyre didn't want to marry Mr. Rochester.
Yeah, no, you're deviating from the main point of our argument, Paul.
No, but cause, uh, cause Bertha, literally, what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I was gonna say something and then I forgot. But your point is invalid, is the essential, that's the essence of it.
Paul, I really don't know how you're spinning this, but if I tried to marry a woman and she had her ex husband who was psychotic locked in the attic, I would be terrified.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yes, I would not call that justifiable. I think I would run as fast as I could away from that place.
I mean, it was, what was the name of that Grace Poole? That was like the one that was supposed to keep her locked in. I mean,
Yeah,
you could say it's partially her fault for like letting her escape so often.
I don't think that's the problem.
What do you mean that's not the problem? That's like the reason that Mr. Rochester and Jane Eyre almost die a million times.
Paul, you're missing the point.
Then what are you trying to say?
I've explained this to you several times. If you were going to marry somebody and they had an ex husband and they were locked in the attic and they were crazy, would it be okay as long as they were kept in there by a better guard? Or would you go, hey, maybe you shouldn't keep your ex wife who's absolutely insane in your attic?
I mean, it was really
You
the
would
only
want to
thing.
know.
It's not like Mr. Rochester had anything else he could do, because he was like bound to her, but she went insane. So it's like, what is he gonna do about that?
That's not the problem. The problem is he didn't say anything.
That's true. Although I
I'm
guess
glad we can agree on this.
at the same time, you can make the argument that he doesn't want to make Jane Eyre feel scared.
I, I think you should still probably tell the person, Paul.
Maybe.
That's a very nice line.
I don't know why it's uneven.
It's the last little piece, I think.
Yeah, it's the last piece, but I don't know why it's not even. I'll just make it look even and hope no one notices.
That's good.
Why is that farther up? But yeah, TLDR, Mr. Rochester doesn't deserve all the hate.
But he still deserves a little bit.
Maybe.
No, the answer is he does. Stop saying maybe.
Maybe.
No, Paul.
Here, let me look at that picture of the field that you sent me.
Oh, I was right.
Right about what?
They just repeat the same songs. They just get like more distorted. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't notice that.
because C3 is the same as the first one.
Interesting. I don't think they always do that. I think they like mix it up towards like the middle and end.
Huh. Because it's slowed down and like more distorted. I
But
like
yeah,
it.
you gotta feel bad for Mr. Rochester at least a little bit.
I feel nothing for that man.
Then you are